Hello everybody, my name is Ofus and this is episode 4 of Kerbal Space Program. Now in our last mission we launched Jebediah Kerbin up into orbit of the moon so that he could perform a mapping mission and a lot of important science. But as you can see up in the corner here, I ran into a little bit of a small problem, and this is how Kerbal Space Program works. Problems happen and you've just got to find your way out of it, and this one was mine. I strapped a lot of batteries onto this thing, and I thought that if I was running low on energy, I could just use the engine and use the alternator in order to recharge my power. But I don't know if this engine doesn't have an alternator or not, but it was not working. I was completely losing power. In a desperate attempt, I thought I might have to abandon the spacecraft, so what I did was power up the rocket so that I could push my orbit out as far as I could before I ran out of power. And you can see here that it didn't work out as well as I had planned. So let's go ahead and physics warp here a little bit. Yeah, so we get all the way down to 0. Okay, so here's our problem. Our spacecraft no longer has power, which means we can't map any more of the moon's surface. What we got is what we got. We also cannot steer the ship, and that is going to be causing a lot of problems here. I don't know if I can get this craft home. So my first thought was, hey, why don't we send up a rescue mission? I'm sure I can come up with something, right? Wrong. Okay, so basically, this is what I had planned for my original rescue mission. You see, it's almost the same design as the Muna 1 mission, but what I ended up doing was taking away all the science parts that were in the upper stage and adding a second command pod up there, because I only have one-seater command pods. That's all I have to work with. So my idea was to have Bill Kerbin pilot in the bottom command pod and leave the top one open for Jebediah. What we would do is we would go into the orbit of the moon, we would match trajectories, and we would match speed so that I could have just Jebediah collect all the science and hop into the empty command pod. Now you can see here that I'm switching the crew so that I can see is it Bill or Bob who's piloting here? I think it's yeah, it's Bill, because he's in that seat right there. I think it's better anyways because he has more courage, but he also has a lot more stupidity. So we'll have to see. So now that we've got that set up, now it is nighttime. There wasn't much I could do about that because we don't have a lot of time in order to work with. We need to go get Jebediah now. So here we are. Bill Kerbin is taking off from the launch pad, and it seems like everything's going okay. Now, I'm going to leave you a little spoiler. This did not go okay. The problem with two command pods is that you have two sets of reaction wheels that are working at the same time every time you try to steer. I tried to turn this thing off, the top rotating wheels off, so that it would be easier to turn, but I wasn't having much luck. So what you're going to see here is that once I get up to 5,000 meters, this craft doesn't start turning the way I want it to. We're getting close. Let's see, 40, 42, 45, 5,000, and then this is about where I started my gravity turn because I was talking while I was doing this. See, and we're starting to turn, and I'm already rolling. I'm already, woo, right? I just wanted to do a 45-degree turn, and I went way past that. Even with the stability engine on, it just wasn't working, and I'm like, oh, I got to get myself back up. I got to get myself back up. I'm too steep. No! And once I started getting myself back up, it's like, no, we're not going to stop you at 45. We're just going to go way up to the top, and yeah. Now we're gonna fly the other way. Okay, so after that, I decided to try again. And I went back to the launch pad, and this is where I actually turn off the reaction wheels up top here. And I thought that would make a difference, and in all reality, it just wasn't working at all. I did an EVA to make sure that he was in the bottom pod. And then I made sure to toggle the torque so that the reaction wheels in the top part were off. But it still wasn't working. As you can see here, we start taking off, and we hit about 5,000 meters. Alright, so this is where I started my turn, and it looks like it's turning a little bit better until I actually hit about the 45-degree angle, and then it's just like, yeah, we're not going to work for you. It started turning completely sideways, and oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no! Oh, now I'm upside down, and this is bad. Here's the deal. I don't have any power, so I can't steer the ship. I've looked into a couple issues for rescue missions, as we've seen, so we know that that's not possible. So what I do still have is rocket control. I can still fire my rocket, and I've still got about 900 meters of delta V, so I'm going to have to use what I have available and pilot myself away from the moon and back to Kerbin without steering the ship at all whatsoever, which is going to be an incredible challenge, but we'll see what we can do with it. Let's go ahead and throttle up and have our orbit break the sphere of influence of the moon. This is definitely getting creative here because, oh, okay, so I'm not in the right spot. That's starting to drag me in. And it looks like I'm rotating as we're doing this, so that only adds to the current problems that I've got right now. So my ship is rotating. I cannot steer it at all whatsoever. So I am going to have to wait until my ship is in the right orientation and then fire the rocket so that it can get me where I need it to go. This happens frequently in Kerbal Space Program where, oops, shit happens, and then you've just got to find a way to deal with it. It's part of the fun of the game. So let's see here. Our rocket is getting into position here in a second. I want it in the prograde, which means no, not prograde. I want it normal. I want to be facing the direction that I'm flying, which is right about there. So let's go ahead and speed that up and make a quick burn so that I can get outside the sphere of influence of the moon. Can I do it in time? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to break the sphere of influence of the moon, and I've still got 830 units of delta V left. We should still be able to recover all of the science that we need. We didn't get as much as I wanted, but we'll be able to recover the spacecraft, and we will be able to get all of the science we need. We've already taken back home, but we're not going to get this mapping mission done. That was an epic fail on my part. So let's go ahead and speed this up until we are in Kerbin's sphere of influence, which is going to be right about there. Now I'm going to do another burn at MightyOfus, which is our farthest point away from the planet, and the reason why I'm doing this is, so let's see, is my craft still rotating? It is not. Let me see what that does. Okay, that's going to give me another encounter with the moon, and I don't want that. But I have no way of turning myself around. Will it let me turn slightly? Ooh, if I'm not careful, I'm going to whack into it. Oh, this is going to be ugly. This is going to be very ugly. Let's see. Did I at least get it enough to work? Okay, so now we're facing the opposite direction that we're flying, which is where we want to be, relatively. So let's see if I can pull this out here. Yes, okay. So now we are flying in the direction we want. We are bringing in our orbit slightly, but I'm going to have to slow myself down because I am spinning. The reason why my rocket is spinning is because I have no way to keep my craft pointed in the same direction. That's what electrical power was for. So I'm just going to have to wait until I'm pointed in the right direction and then just burn until my craft gets close enough that I can just do a regular re-entry. This is going to be a very messy, very dirty affair. It's not going to be safe by any means at all whatsoever. So, speed it up again. And, oh, okay. So we've got to let ourselves get to MightyOfus a little bit here. And apparently when I speed up my flying, it corrects me and stops my rotation because Time Warp can only focus on so much at once. So let's see, if I just start burning that and maybe vector my rocket, it'll start me spinning, which is what I need it to do. The rocket still has vector control, so we can still steer it if the engine is on, but that's only because we're pointing the rocket the nozzle itself in a certain direction. So let's go ahead and turn that on. We are going to bring our orbit in more. I need to get it in to about 30 kilometers. Yeah, we're spinning around that way, and that is not slightly cool. And in again. Can I get in on this burn? And almost. We're almost there. Whoo! This is dangerous. Okay, so we are now going to be able to return to Kerbin. My craft is spinning. I don't know. Well, I'm going to have to make it stop spinning. So let's go ahead and turn on time warp a little bit. Yes, I cheated, but I need to get the scientific data out of the parts that I already have if I haven't done that already. Let me review my reports and see what I have in here. Let's go ahead and keep that. I think I still have my stuff in here, so let me go ahead and do an EVDA and go out and collect the data that I need. So we're going to let go here. We're going to turn on our RCS, and we're going to come out here first to the science module here and collect that data. Yes, I want to remove the data. And then we're going to go down here, and we're going to collect this data. Can I get it? Come on, go back, and come on, give me the data. Oh, and I bumped the spacecraft, and it's going to start rotating. That's not cool. This is not easy. Boom, and collect data. Yes, remove the data. We have recovered all the data that we need so far. I might see if I can do another science thing from Far Kerbin. Can I do that now? I don't remember if I've done science from Far Kerbin yet, but we'll find out. I know I haven't done it with the materials bay. So let's go ahead and take care of that. That'll get us 25 more science, and let's do it with the goo. And that will get us... Okay, we've already done that one, so we're going to just reset that experiment. And let's time warp it a little bit so we can stop our rotation. And we're going to go EVA again to get the information that we need from the second module. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And... no, wrong button. And boom! Okay, let go. Space. R. And down we go. Boop. Yes, so we only got a little bit of the moon mapped. That's okay. As long as we get Jebediah back safely and recover all of our science, that is what is important. We will still get a ton of science with this mission. And for all I know, I will be able to go back and try this again, or at least just land on the moon blind. Oh! Oh, I missed the ladder. Oh, crap. I'm flying off into space. Yes, we've got to make it. You can do it, Jebediah. You can do it. Come on. And boom, yes. We are safely inside. We have all of our science recovered. So now we can fly away from the moon. Hello, moon. And start heading back towards the planet Kerbin, which is where, by the way? Which is right down below us. Let's go ahead and time warp that, and we're gonna be going whee. Okay, we don't wanna go too fast, but we do want to go fast enough. This is going to be a very steep, very quick descent. You can see we're just gonna be going straight in there. We're probably gonna land on that continent right there, just either before or after the day to nighttime barrier. So we will just have to see how that works out. So let's go ahead. I can't. Alright, so we have dislodged all of our science and back parts. So that is going to leave us there. And now we can just start time warping in. It should automatically turn off the time warp once we get into the atmosphere. And where are we here? Let's see. And it is very dark. It is nighttime-ish. And it is still letting me deploy the chute, so we're good there. We're just going to have to fly in kind of sideways, like that. But the mission will be successful, sort of. We will be able to get Jebediah back into the atmosphere safely. So let's go ahead and speed us in. I'm sorry it's on the dark side. There's nothing I could do about it. And look, my craft is going to point itself relatively in the right direction. That was beautiful. And out come my chutes as we are burning through the atmosphere like a rock. We're not flipping upside down like we were in the last video, but we are still going to make it down safely. Hooray! And look at Jebediah. He's all happy. He's like, I'm home! Oh, this mission could have ended so badly. I'm so lucky that I still had rocket control, because otherwise my rescue mission would have been a lot more suicidal. I'll guarantee that right now. I was considering adding parachutes. I was considering adding a second command pod to a spacecraft, but those weren't working, as you saw earlier in the video. So this is the only way that I could have made this work. So down we go. We're going to physics warp this so we hit the bottom. And it looks like we're going to splash into the ocean just offshore. But that's okay. That'll be everything we need in order to get Jebediah back safely. The parachute has deployed. We have dropped to a surface velocity of 6.3 meters per second. It's a bit of a rough touchdown, but we're in water, so we shall be fine. So, come on, you're almost there. You're almost there. And touchdown! We have safely recovered Jebediah Kerbin. Let's go ahead and go out and, I think I've already done an EVA report for water, but we'll see if it gets us something else. Take a surface sample, which is 3 more science, and we'll do an EVA report. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary here, was it? Okay, oh, so the chute did, whatever, fine. This was better anyways. Let's go ahead and hop back into our, okay, let's turn off physics warp here. That would make things a lot easier. And, oh, is it too far into the water? You've got to be kidding me. Yeah. Grab it. Yes. And, oh, the door is too far into water. Get in. Get in. Oh, you whore. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are just going to recover Jebediah because he's down on the ground. We can recover Jebediah and the spacecraft separately. So Jebediah is going to have some science of his own. Okay, we are back. There's no sign of Jeb, and I don't know if his science was recovered. So let's go ahead and recover the Muna, the Muna orbiter, and see if we got all the science from that. Now you can go to the Muna orbiter and recover it, even though you don't have a pilot in there. So there's no sign of Jeb, which means he must be gone. Let's go ahead and recover this vessel and get all the science that is stored inside of it. I know we have quite a bit because we were getting plenty of science. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. 185 science earned on this mission. We got 15 from a crew report, 24 from an EVA report, 75 from the material study over the moon, 25 with the material study high over Kerbin, the mystery goo over the moon, and recovery of a vessel returned from an orbit around the moon. So we got plenty of science there. That'll give us a lot of helpful things that we need. Let's go ahead and take care of our struts and our stabilizer enhancers. I've still got 164 science left here, so let's see. Can I get battery parts? Can I go ahead and get those solar panels that I didn't have before? That's going to cost me 90 science, and yes, I can. What else is available? A new science experiment, the science lab, wheels, aerodynamic parts, more decouplers, fuel. Ooh, there's fuel lines there. Ooh, this is a hard decision. I don't have the money for both. I think I can do without fuel lines for now. I think I'm going to go ahead and get these electrics taken care of so that I can have solar panels. And I think I'm going to get my Sputnik, my remote thing here, so that I don't have to sacrifice any more Kerbals trying to go up into space. So we now have everything we need for the moon, and I think we are going to relaunch our MapSat with the new solar panels so that we can finally get what we need. But that is going to wait until our next mission. Until then, my name is Ofus. Keep your feet on the ground!